Marriage is important for our children, some of us who have children.
Yes.
Yeah, so our children, their lives draw 80% energy and direction from our marriages. And emotional connection, people think it is too much, it's up there in, no, it is just, it's here. I've heard people say, oh, men are sexual beings, now for men it is, but you see, each person enjoys sex because sex is a celebration of a relationship. Happiness in a marriage is dependent on how open we are.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Reality Check. This channel cares for hearts and minds, and we have conversations on mental health in the areas of family, marriage, your parenting journey, as well as the workplace. My name is Rachel. I am your host, and I'm joined by Dr. Eva Satwine, who is the founder at International Center for Mental Health and Family Care. We are coming to you from a subsidiary of International Center for Mental Health and Family Care. This is Suma Coffee and Wellness Center, your one-stop shop for all your wellness needs. I'm talking smoothies like the one I am having, supplements that are going to help you take better care of your body, whether it's your mental health, your physical body and your physical health. We were talking earlier about aging well. Yeah, so your 40-year-old body and your 30-year-old body needs to serve you when you're 70, but you need to start taking better care of it now. And Dr. Evers will tell us a bit more about these supplements. We've got some healthy juices for you and also a counseling space. So she's going to be seeing her clients, that's you guys who are watching Reality Check, here in the comfort of Suma Coffee and Wellness Center. Right here in Kamocha. It's a central location, so if you've had trouble accessing her in Ntinda, Kamocha might be a better option for you. So welcome. Before I say what we are going to be talking about, I wanted to say hi.
Hi.
First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
This is a really good initiative. Yeah, and I like that you can find all your wellness supplies in one space. Tell us a bit about these supplements, just a little bit.
Okay, so supplementation seems like an alien thing to us, just like therapy. You know, when therapy was there, people would say, just talking. But of course, we've come a long way. People know that therapy is important. So it's the same as boosting our bodies. And not just boosting, cleansing, washing our bodies. I was just saying to someone recently, what happens to the toxins that get into our bodies? The toxins we get through food and diet. You know, do we know what we eat?
This is true.
You know, some of the things we eat carry toxins. What happens? Well, who cleanses them? How about the toxins we get from exposure to chemicals? You know, exposure to chemicals, the vegetables we buy, the tomatoes, all the vegetables, when I think about them, yes, some of us try to clean them so that we don't take in so much toxins, but they come in there. The environment, the fumes and all the things, what do you think happens to our bodies? So, do we clean? So we have, there are a number of products here that help us to cleanse, to wash our bodies. I told you earlier about the food we eat, the fat. And then the next time they tell you you have high cholesterol, your heart is covered by so much fat layers and all, but we don't know what to do about them. We need to cleanse, we need to wash. We need to wash our organs. And so we have products that help to wash, to cleanse our bodies. We have body strengthening products here. Very important, bones and joints and all. And sometimes we just wait until we are weak and then we run to repair. Yet you would have started earlier. I also get burdened by the fact that we work so hard save money only to spend it on treating disease later on. I was looking at the disease burden amongst the aged, the 65 and above. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. People are struggling with arthritis, they are struggling with hypertension, they are struggling with diabetes. But this could have been avoided or averted by taking care of our bodies. Because this body, we don't have spare parts for the body. So lots of products for bones and joints. But I'm so passionate about Cerebrain, which is a product for our brains, because we don't know that the brain cells degenerate. And especially when we are exposed to so much stress. I was looking at statistics, and it's shocking that now we have dementia among young people.
As young as 40.
As young as 40, as 50. And so if you don't rest well, you don't sleep well, of course, that's the advice we give here. You do not manage stress, eat well and all. But also, I mean, it's normal for us to get exposed to brain degenerating aspects during the day. So what happens when you're degenerating and the brain cells are not regenerating at a rate at which they degenerate? And sometimes we are not able to do it naturally. Take Cerebrain. If some people weren't taking Cerebrain, I don't know where they would be. So a number of products here. Men and prostate. I've seen prostate cancer. I hope people know that prostate cancer is on the rise. And we are only lamenting, yet we have products like Prostate Relax here, which would help to avert prostate enlargement. A number of other products for male sexual vitality, which are safe, a number of them. A number of immune boosters, because again, our immunity just reduces and we are not aware. So talking about intentionality, but I'm more passionate about eating well.
Eating well. Yes.
Of course, these products are here, the smoothies. You don't have to eat fats all the time and eat well. So we prepare healthy foods, good vegetables, good fruits, good healthy foods. So that's why this center has been set up to cater for people's wellness through natural means. And so come pick a smoothie, call the center and make an appointment. But also I want to emphasize that we have a machine that scans the entire body, and you're able to see how your organs are functioning. Please come in and be scanned so that you don't wait until they tell you your kidneys are malfunctioning, your liver has a problem. You can see this area and then you're able to cleanse it as we have already talked. So please come in and talk to specialists here, but also come and take
enjoy
healthy food,
something healthy. Yes.
Healthy juices, healthy smoothies, healthy foods.
Yeah.
We are here to serve you.
Supplements, and it's really the perfect time to spend on things like this. At the start of the year, we are always making goals to live a healthier life. People are going to the gym, they are eating healthy. So come and supplement your healthy eating with some of these products. We're going to share a contact for you to call if you'd like some of these products delivered to you. So you can call in, make a consult, what would I need for ABCDE, and these products can be sent to you. But if you're writing, it's 0786 735723. 0786 735723. We'll include it in our description box as well, so you know who to call.
Even these can be delivered.
Or even the smoothies, the juices. And so if you work in the Kamocha area, you're very close, because this is right opposite Acacia Mall at Total Energy. So if you know where Total Acacia is, it's the space just above the Total shop, the Total supermarket. So yeah, there you have it. So today we wanted to have a conversation on red flags that would show you your marriage is in trouble or is heading in the direction of trouble. I think I like to say that our marriages, our relationships, they are a living thing. And I think every once in a while you need to check, evaluate to make sure that you're still on course. You might have deviated and you don't even know it. And then somebody slaps you with a divorce and you're like, how, when, where? What do you mean? I thought we were okay, And so we felt that it was necessary to have this conversation. So Dr. Avis, what are some of those subtle red flags that people overlook in their relationships? Yeah.
Maybe before I go to the red flags, let me just first remind listeners and viewers that marriage is not some casual relationship. It's such a life-giving relationship. And from the standpoint of relational science, we are actually seeing that any person married, that relationship serves your health by 80%.
That's huge.
So 80% of your health and wellness, and also functionality. And I'm sure some of us who have experienced challenges in marriage, that when your marriage is not doing well, even at work you can't function.
That's true.
So it services our lives. It supplies 80% life to us. So it's a very, very essential relationship. Number two, it's also important, of course, it cushions us, it gives us stability, and we are able to go out and be energized. So the energy we get is important. But it's also, marriage is important for our children, some of us who have children.
Yes.
Yeah, so our children, their lives draw 80% energy and direction from our marriages. So it's a life-giving relationship for us and for the generations after us. That's why I think we have had a conversation here that when your marriage is struggling, your children struggle. Even when they are young, they fall sick more. Maybe you've never paid attention to this. When there is conflict in the marriage, there is a struggle, children fall sick even when they are little. Even when they don't know what's happening. They just pick the vibration. So I thought I would emphasize that. But we are also seeing that people who are married, when they are living in healthy relationships, their health is good. They are, they
overall
yes,
outlook on life.
Overall outlook on life, but also longevity. We are seeing that married people who are happily married live longer.
Yeah.
And so this is not some casual relationship. And so I thought I would give it that background so that then people know when we say this is going wrong, you don't just get dismissive and say, what are they saying?
Okay, yeah.
It's okay. Do I have to?
I can find another one.
I can find another one, you know. Yeah, so maybe then to answer your question, Rachel. Number one, when our relationship, I wanted to say graduates. I remembered the joke that is around where people are saying our roads have been elevated from tarmac to maram, but that's not what I'm talking about. But when a relationship moves from emotional to logistical, and I'm going to explain that.
Yeah.
We all connect at emotional level. When we are getting married, we talk about how I love you, how I can't wait, what are you doing? And I've heard my brothers say, men are not emotional. We are all emotional beings. We express emotions. And so that's what wins a partner for us. But then when we have settled, and then you start discussing only logistics, bills, sugar not there, bring milk, pick children, there's no bread. Now, I've always asked people, how many of you, when you were dating, someone came and said bread, sugar, umeme, yaka, you know? That's not what got you together. You got together at a point of I love you, I appreciate this about you. this and that. Now, so there is a lot of taking each other for granted. So then, and it becomes normal. So we normalize this. You know, we normalize it and say, us we don't talk about that. Us we just, now life is so busy. And I've always told, please let life not be too busy for you to not have time to discuss and connect.
Sure.
So that emotional connection is lost. Is lost. And I've heard people say we are just roommates. That's very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. So if you lose that emotional connection and you don't create time, and emotional connection, people think it is too much, it's up there in, no, it is just, it's here.
Yeah.
It is here.
Yeah.
It's in your mouth. Use your mouth. This is a very, very big, powerful tool that can help us nurture relationships. Now, we underrate this, but Rachel, I don't know how you feel. Maybe you've seen this. When Ben says something at that level and says, "Oh, you look good,"
Change
the whole day,
Yes.
you may even miss lunch. You have so much energy. And so we take that for granted.
Yeah.
We always drain our relationships of life-giving aspects, and then we keep operating at functional level. So you're not divorced, you're not connected, but
But you're also just
you're just there. So that's a danger sign. And I really want to emphasize it. Anyone taking pride in this and glamorizing malfunctionality, please check. You need to step back and say, what is happening here? So that is number one. Number two, which is connected to it, is lack of fun. Lack of fun. Right?
These are such simple things, and yet
Simple things. And again, I've had people glamorize boredom. Me, I'm quiet. I don't say anything. But you can't have a relationship where there is no fun. Now, fun in psychology is so life-giving, you know, because it comes with expression. Expression. Again, you've heard me say that all emotions have to be expressed, and some of them are expressed through fun. Now, fun is powerful. Fun is life-giving. Fun is replenishing. So if you find that you don't have fun, fun also brings connection. You know, we pull down these the big things about us, and we feed the little child on the inside of us. You know, one of the things we do at home, what am I saying? People are listening, yeah? Okay. One of the things we do is dance.
oh really?
Yes, we dance. You heard
Okay.
our children talk about
Yes,
it
yes,
on their wedding.
yes.
We dance. We dance, and each person has their strokes. I love dancing. I hope no one judges me, but I love dancing and I love fun. So we dance, we put all these this music, Congolese, and dance. You see? And each person pulls off their strokes and all, and we laugh and pray and sleep.
And that's
You see?
it, yeah.
And that's it. And so then children know that,
You can have
you know,
fun.
daddy can do this
Yes,
and
yes.
mommy can do this.
Yes.
So that little child, each one of us has a little child on the inside that is asking to play.
That's true.
Now, when we suffocate that child, we put out this facade, the seriousness, and that seriousness actually makes the body age. Actually, a body that doesn't engage in fun can age very fast. But going back to why it's a red flag, is that we do that when we are comfortable with each other.
That's true.
Yeah. When we are not comfortable with each other, we can't play. We can't have fun. Everyone discusses serious things, you see. But if you allow yourself to play, to have fun, it also eases conversation. Yeah, it eases conversation. So lack of fun, lack of that connection at that level, of being simple, of just pulling out that little child in us. And I've also mentioned that, of course, when we don't do this, we live like roommates.
That's true.
Can I please ask anyone glamorizing that?
It's not nice.
It's not nice. It's not nice, because then you're going home and you've left roommates at the office, you've left roommates anywhere else, and you're going to another roommate. That's not nice. Usually this happens when we have suffocated conversation. Yeah, we have unresolved issues, so everyone has their guard zone. And so when you come, you eat, you go through the routines, the emotions, but then there's nothing that brings that emotional connection. That's why I started with, we all start our relationships at emotional level. But when we have lost that, then we get into just functional aspects. Oh, he has come, I've served them food. They can't complain to the public, like
There's nothing major happening. Yes. She's doing her duties as a wife, you're also doing yours as a husband, but you're not happy,
Yes, you're not happy. You're just roommates.
Yeah.
It is so sad.
It really is.
It's very sad.
And imagine you have the rest of your life to just be
to live like
roommates.
that. Again, that's why I say don't glamorize it.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's not nice. So if you have issues that have thrown you into that roommate state, we deal with them.
Yeah.
If we have, God gave us tools to use to address relational issues. Talk, have conversation,
Yeah.
repent. That's why repentance is not just a church thing. It's a tool for relationships. Check in with someone. Find out, why are they behaving there? Why are they cold? Because a roommate life is cold. It is absolutely cold. You're not even fighting. You've gone into subtle fights, or what do they, Cold War.
It's a cold war.
It's a
yes.
cold war.
We're
It is not
talking,
nice.
yeah.
It is terrible. And so that roommate state is not good. And one of the other danger signs is people not wanting to be in their partner's space. You dread your partner coming home, whether wife or husband. That is a danger sign, because then we should be looking forward to our partner coming. But now you're saying, maybe they've traveled,
And you're more excited about them being away than
yes,
you are
you're so
about them
happy to
coming.
have them away
Yes.
than around. That is a danger sign. That's a very, very dangerous sign, because then your marriage is not good. You should miss someone. You shouldn't dread them coming back. That's very dangerous. Actually, one related to that is when you find that you enjoy other people's company more than your partner. This is a partner you share your life with. Now, it doesn't mean, please note that I'm not saying we shouldn't have good friends and all, but to find that over time, you do not find anything nice in your partner, you're ever looking forward to other people's company, especially the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very big red flag, very, very big. So we need to examine ourselves and say what's happening there. And of course, Rachel, viewing pornography.
Yes. And it's a silent cancer.
It's a silent cancer. Yeah, so that pornography is taking the space of someone. Yeah, and definitely it builds on another red flag, which is lack of sexual activity. I think, of course, let me not say I think, because in my counseling work, I've met people, they've not been sexually intimate, physically intimate for months. For months. And so what's that? And I remember talking to a couple, and the husband was saying, we are not animals, we can live like that. But that's a danger sign.
It is.
It's a danger sign. Now, let me say something. I rarely talk about sex.
Yes,
I hope
you
have not-
rarely talk about
I
it,
rarely
yeah.
talk about sex. But let me say something about it. You see, I've heard people say, "Oh, men are sexual beings. Now, for men, it is." But you see, each person enjoys sex because sex is a celebration of a relationship, of your love, of your union. Now, every time you have a great relationship, both men and women look forward to celebrating the relationship sexually because you're connected spiritually, you're connected emotionally, and so you look forward. So when you have ceased to look forward to that, that's a danger sign.
It is.
That's a danger sign. I've had people complain. Recently, we had a bridal shower for a young girl, and this lady was talking about, oh, you know, you're going to have a time when you don't want to. See, you pray that your husband doesn't come. And I thought, that's a danger sign. Because once you are at peace with her, why do we get sexually attracted to people? It's because of how they make us feel. You know, any person that has really gravitated towards a totally different person, you know what has taken you. It's because of how they make you feel. So, and we can cultivate this in our own relationships. You see, I don't want to feel attracted to another man. I don't want to do that. Don't even know how I would handle that. But you see, I have to cultivate, I have to be sexually attracted to my partner. What attracted me to him and in the first place? And then I have to cultivate that.
Yeah.
I have to cultivate that. So that's also a major danger sign. And of course, when that fails, people look for alternatives. That's how they find themselves in pornography. Then they find themselves in extramarital relationships. But I've always said that energy you have taken there, you could use it in your relationship.
Fix what's going on.
Fix what is going on. And I can hear some people say, you know how
You don't know how it suffers.
do you know who I'm married to?
I know.
I can imagine, but
Yeah.
you see, there is a reason you ended up with them. Yes, and in my therapy work, I've always asked people, if your partner was doing what they are doing now, would you have married them? Of course not.
Yeah.
And so what happened? What made them become who they are now? And so you'll find that there are certain things that have happened in between, and those things can be addressed. So it is okay. We can all still be attracted to the person we married.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one last one, Rachel. There are many, but it's when you find yourself criticizing your partner more than appreciating them. You're just looking at the negative side of them. That means you've lost grace. Grace is a very important element in relationships. So everything you're talking about your partner is negative, negative, negative. That's dangerous because we should all have some degree of grace. And again, you've heard me say that we don't marry perfect people because we are imperfect ourselves. But most of the time we take to amplifying the negative in our partner and we lose sight of the good things they have. So if anytime you catch yourself amplifying the negatives, the negative, everything small is amplified. You don't know how you ended up with this person. Honestly, that means that's a danger because you're feeding that line of thinking and it can really, really end in a wrong place. It's a terrible tangent.
Especially if it goes unattended. And I think every red flag you've mentioned, if you notice it and then don't do anything about it, we all know what the end
Exactly,
will
because you're
usually
feeding
be.
it.
Yes, you're feeding it. And I think not all relationships will end in divorce per se, but you'll be miserable. You're going to be in there, and that, dysfunctionality that you were talking about, where the relationship is more logistical than emotional, and it gets tired after a while.
Of course, it's exhausting because that's not what got you together.
No.
You didn't connect at sugar and soap and milk and the bread level. You connected at love level. And so you need to feed that. Now, marriage is a live relationship. And so all living things, I remember my basic science, the characteristics of living things, they breathe, they move, they feed, they grow. Now, if your relationship is not growing, it's dying.
Yeah, I think that's another reality
Yes,
we
it
need
is.
to be aware
It
of.
is. If it's not growing, and in growing is tough. There are certain things that are going to be uncomfortable. You see, there are certain uncomfortable conversations you have to have. There are certain boundaries you have to open. And so we need to allow relationships to grow. But I've seen, again, of course, in my line of work as a relationship coaching, a relationship coach and marriage therapist, people just want to settle with what they know. This is me, who I am, and they don't want to be better. They don't want to align themselves with the new realities of the relationship. They're just stuck. But that means you're not growing. You're not growing. In life coaching, we always challenge people. If you have been the same way for the first 5 years, then you're not growing, you're dying, you're reducing. You're reducing. And so marriage should be a living thing. And so we should be open to learning, to being better. And if you catch yourself getting onto a wrong tangent, these things we have mentioned, we are not just fear mongering.
That's true.
This is real.
It is.
Yeah, people are living together 20 years and they just wake up and say, oh, it's 25 now, let's celebrate.
But are you really celebrating?
But are you really celebrating? Or it's because you have lived together. There's lots of pain, lots of misery, but this misery can be addressed.
Yeah, there's another red flag that I would like for you to comment on. What is the role of secrecy and a lack of transparency? I think when you find yourself being more secretive, what would that have? What kind of impact would that have?
Oh, that is terrible because you see, Rachel, marriage is a unique partnership. In partnerships, in business partnerships, if you apply secrecy, it's going to fail. Because secrecy breaks trust in the person that is breaking it, but also in the establishment of the marriage. So if you have, if you're hiding certain things, marriage requires vulnerability. If we can't be open, that's why in my counseling I ask people, if you can share DNA, you shared a DNA, but you're secretive on other things, money, your friendships, your schedule, your all that. Because you see, the spirit behind secrecy is not healthy. You see, you've got a partner. Some of us have gone to church and we've said out vows. We have said, oh, everything I have I give to you, or everything I share with you. Before you know, this is my thing. This is my thing. It's your role here, it's your role here. Now, every time we get into a marriage and we are holding on to certain things, it is dangerous. It is absolutely dangerous. I must say this is one of the hardest areas because we've been single for so many years before we get another person into our lives. So the temptation to be on our own is big. And so to start releasing certain things to the establishment, that always becomes challenging to people. But we have to share. We have to be open. Because that's why I think in one of the conversations I mentioned unmarried things in marriage, unmarried money, single programs, single properties, and all that. But you see, when you're doing that, you're doing a disservice to your marriage. Remember, a good marriage is a life-giving.
That's true.
project for you. And so if you suffocate it by being secretive, then it's going to be a problem. Happiness in a marriage is dependent on how open we are. Because interestingly, in marriage, if you hold on to certain things, somehow they get known.
That's true.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Because you remember, you're connected at spirit level.
Yes.
And so at spirit level, your partner is going to sense that something is wrong. Right? Yeah. You've in therapy, I get people who sometimes have been caught in extramarital relationships, and they are accusing their partner of checking my phone. Oh, they are just snooping.
time,
But you see, the thing is, by the time they check, they had already sensed it at spirit level. Yeah. So every time we get secretive, we trigger we trigger someone to be inquisitive. We trigger suspicion. And when there is suspicion, someone is going to follow through. They are going to check. There is this something, there's a gut feeling. You know, there's this gut, there's something off. And so the area we became open, the better. And we have to be intentional. It's not going to be fun. Vulnerability has never been fun.
Yeah.
But we have to be intentional about communicating our schedule. I love it when I communicate I don't worry about, I'm sure my husband doesn't worry about me. But when I delay in the office, for instance, with maybe a client that has come in later, that's unusual. I'll call him or send him a message and say, sorry, I'm running late. And sometimes he goes like, of course it's okay. But I'm glad I told you.
have told me.
Yes. So it is, we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about this. It doesn't have to be legal,
No.
a legal requirement. It's intentional. It's just being a good human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So communicate so that your partner can be at peace.
Yeah, and I think I like what you started with, the foundation that you gave, that marriage is a life-giving relationship. And I think if we understand that, we will do all these other things, even if they are seemingly too much, because society will tell you, you don't have to inform your husband, you don't have to inform your wife, or you don't have to say good morning, you don't have to say I love you every day. Yeah, you don't, but at the end of the day, you either reap the benefits or the consequences of not giving life to your relationship. It is you that is going to suffer or enjoy at the end of the day, not society.
I do plants, Rachel. You know how much I love plants. But those plants, every time I wake up, I remember that I take breakfast, I eat 3 meals, and in between I snack. You see that? And I've always gone out to water my plants. Because if I don't, someone will come and say, oh my God, Ivas, you have very nice plants. But I've put in so much. You know, I look for manure everywhere, I spray them, I do all that because I want them to look nice. Now, when I come out, I look at my plants, they look amazing and they give me life. So, marriage, we have to sow in it.
We do.
We have to water it.
Yeah.
And it's simple. Can I give you a simple checklist? Which I give to people. Everything we do is either building or breaking.
Breaking. Period. It's not in between.
Everything. We can be as justified as can be. Culture will have told us some things. I don't know who else is instigating us. But as long as you are not evaluating what you're doing, then it's going to be dangerous. It's very simple. What I'm doing, is it building or breaking? Is it watering or healing? Is it reinforcing or suffocating? And so this, if we have to know that this is I've spent time explaining that this is a relationship that feeds us. It's our emotional ecosystem.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, you hear environmentalists say, plant trees so that you have oxygen to breathe. It's the same thing in relationships. Please feed your marriage.
Yeah.
Water your marriage. Put in all these good things so that it can feed you. And it's very interestingly that sometimes we run out, feed other relationships, but they are not immediate. And sometimes they are not really servicing you. They could probably be temporal and all, but you're failing to feed this that is so life-giving for you. So it is what you put in this marriage that comes back to you.
That's very true.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I have heard, the strange reasons that I have heard that people give for separation and divorce sometimes is emotional distance. Oh, we grew apart. Maybe I don't love this person anymore. Or we started out, yes, we were in love, but now I don't recognize her, I don't recognize him. How does emotional distance show up in marriage? And I guess what can couples do to keep the gap small, I guess?
Okay, so emotional distance. Emotional distance manifests in number one, what I already talked about, the feelings we have towards someone. If someone, depending on how someone makes you feel, your partner, how they make you feel, do they make you feel loved? Do they make you feel appreciated? Do they feel, are they gracious towards you? Do they make you comfortable to say anything without feeling judged? All that. Now, what happens is the science of relationships is we gravitate towards warmth. As a matter of fact, I tell people that human beings are like plants. Plants, you have a plant in the house, it is going to gravitate towards light,
Light, yes.
gravitate towards warmth, you see, and of course gravitate towards water,
Yeah.
you see. So even human beings, we gravitate towards warmth. We gravitate towards someone that is warm to us, not a person who is so judgmental. I mean, in marriage, it's not rare to see people who are giving sharp criticism to their partner, make them feel horrible, and they say, "But I love you." What do you mean, love? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You see, you can communicate truth in love, and I'm going to receive it. But you can't cut me and brutalize me and bruise me and then say you love me. So that emotional connection, that's how we connect to people. You see, that's how someone who gives you hope,
Yeah.
that's light, who gives you warmth, grace, and fun, and kindness, and all that, but also who waters you, who's able to make an input in you, who can actually make you feel better. They can even they can give you a hard input, but in a very kind way.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband challenges me. He goes like, "You have to finish this. You started this. Please finish it because it doesn't look good on you." Now, that is watering me.
Yeah.
But he also will tell me, "You're good at this."
Yes.
You
Affirm
know,
you.
affirm me, validate certain things, celebrate me, cheerlead me. Now, that is watering.
That's true.
Yeah, so that emotional connection, that's how emotional connection is built. That's why you find married people who are still taking refuge in their parents, in their friends,
Best
because now
friends.
they've found here a dry
nothing
land.
here.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to feed on.
Yes.
Yeah, so emotional connection is not because you're married. It's not because you have been married for 25 years and 50. No, that's that's a celebration for the public. But you see, emotional connection is in day-to-day little graces that we offer each other, the kindness we offer each other, we afford each other, the intentional investment in people's emotions, the awareness, but also the intentionality to be mindful of somebody's emotional stature. Yeah, where you say, "I don't want to hurt this person." That's emotional connection. And that's when you hear people say, you know, because then we gravitate towards someone who thinks well about us, who is kind, who is warm, who offers me hope. That's the emotional connection. It's not this some big thing in public. It is in small little things. It is in acts of kindness. You know, your partner, you're going to sleep. I do this all the time and say, oh my God, I needed a glass of water. He picks this. It just goes direct to the heart. You're like, Bambi, oh, this person, how kind of you. Simple little things. In fact, I believe if human beings learned to simplify relationships,
We would be happier.
we would be happier.
Yeah.
We would be happier. It's an everyday thing. It's that daily watering. I always challenge my gardener. I ask, have you watered? He said, I watered the other day. Then I asked him, did you eat between this period? Did you stop eating the other day? So sometimes we think our relationships are going to feed on leftovers or food from 3 days ago or 3 years ago. You last told your partner that you love them when you are dating. And I hear this a lot. Now, someone asks, but do you love me? If I didn't love you, it becomes an argument. But these are things that we are supposed to feed every day. Look at your partner, look for something. Maybe you have a conflict, maybe you have that, but be intentional, find something to give. So that's emotional connection, and sometimes it's fed through the mouth. You know, call your partner. I hear people, we are so busy, we tell each other, we are too busy to call. But I ask, are you sure I didn't call anyone today? And you find they've called so many, they've even talked about so many things except with their partner. We have that time.
We do.
We really create time for things we value. We do.
That's-
So if we value our relationships, we are going to invest in them.
Yeah.
We're going to be intentional about them. If we know, and Rachel, I'll tell you, I believe one of the reasons we have ugly relationships is because we take them for granted. We think they can grow without watering, without nurturing, without investing in. And then we invest in other things and then come back and expect a relationship to feed you.
It's madness.
It's
It really is madness. Let's talk about external, what could possibly be a red flag, but externally, so outside of the couple. In the era that we are living in, we have things like social media, we have friends, in-laws. Can those become red flags for a relationship?
100%, because every time individuals can't connect, they always look for an escape route. They look for alternatives because human beings were created to connect.
Yeah.
So if we can't connect at this level, we are going to try and connect with something else. That's why someone will enter their house and the first thing they pull out is their phone.
Yes.
So they are here, they are looking, they are connecting with their world, the other world, except
The one they are
the
living
one
in.
they are living in. You see? So that becomes a problem. And then that's why I talked about interest in other relationship other than your relationship. Can I just clarify this and say, we all need our other relationships. We need our girlfriends. We need our men need their boyfriends, and it is okay. We have our close friends, but that can't be a replacement of your partner.
Yeah.
It can be,
Yeah.
especially where you find that you don't want to spend time with this person, but you would rather spend it with another person. It's very simple, So that external influence, and it can even be, by the way, our parents. It can be our parents.
People who mean well.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so you find that we run to our parents. I've seen, for instance, couples where the man is always going to spend a weekend with mom. He's been working, but now the weekend I have to spend it with mom. Every weekend you can check on your mom, but it can't be every weekend. And even girls, even ladies. So every time that happens, that's a serious red flag, because that means you're trying to look for escape routes. Yeah, you're running away from something. Otherwise, in the natural, we would want to be with our partners. I mean, it doesn't mean that we are just codependents, no. But wanting to spend time together, we desire to spend time together, especially in this very busy world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the week, you're running here, running there. You meet at home. You mean well before you say a few words. You're sleeping, but we should always be looking forward to a time we can spend time together. Yeah, and connect. So.
Yeah,
that is an
no,
issue.
that makes a lot of sense. So, what can couples then do to address these red flags? And there might be someone who is watching and saying, me, I already saw all these red flags. They are existing in my marriage, but I don't know how to address them. I don't know what to do about them. And I think sometimes that's the challenge with marriage, that there might be one person who has recognized red flags, but how do I bring my partner on board to say, by the way, I think we are headed for trouble if we don't fix these red flags?
So I'll begin with, because I tried to mention certain things that cause,
Yes. As well.
just check what is causing the disconnection. And for instance, if you're not having fun, I'm not asking you to go buy a radio and start dancing, but integrate some of these things in. We all have our different levels of fun and ways to have fun. It's very important that we know what creates fun. Check what you can do. Start today.
Yeah.
That's why I always advise my clients that it's never too late to do the right thing.
That's true.
Because doing the right thing or the wrong thing is about heart conditioning. Every time, even if you have, it doesn't matter how long you have taken a wrong turn, if you come back, the heart is going to receive it, you know? And I mean, I support couples who will tell you, I don't think ours, we are dead. No, that's not true. The moment you start doing the right thing, you surprise the heart. That's why you hear people say, really? Can you imagine?
I didn't think
I
that
didn't
would
think
happen.
this
Yes,
would happen.
yes.
So we need to start from where we are. Surprise the heart. I love that. Surprise the heart. Because the heart has to be shocked. Say, hey, I can't believe this person came early. You know, that's, and we take this for granted, but that's how we change behavior. That's, never believe anyone who says it's too late to do the right thing. No. Just check. If it is broken trust, check what has broken your trust. Check it. Address it. You see, if you've been hiding things, stop today and do the right thing. The most interesting bit about human beings is that we know the right thing, but we don't feel the energy to try.
Try.
So my advice is, please try and check. Number two, be intentional. We need to be intentional. We are not going to, we not, check all the projects in the world. We are intentional. We are absolutely intentional. We invest money, we save. It's painful. You'd rather spend it, but you save, you do all that. It's intentionality. We need to invest in our relationships intentionally, deliberately. We cannot achieve good relationships just casually. No, we have to be intentional. Intentional. Number three, of course, is seek help.
Yeah.
Seek help.
Yeah.
Because there's probably a reason why you're where you are,
That's true.
you know? And red flags, by the way, are fed.
Yes, yes. You see it and you can
see
feed it until
either
it
feed it
matures
or kill
into
it.
something. Yeah,
Yes.
that's so true.
So anything that red flag, if you're not able to deal with it on your own, seek professional help. That's why therapists have been trained to support you. Probably it's overwhelming. Probably you don't feel like you have the kind of resources you need to address this. Seek professional help. Seek professional help. And maybe Rachel, still connected to that, I encourage people to learn. I encourage people to grow, to invest in relational growth.
Yeah.
And Honestly, we've gone to school, we've spent 4 or 5 years studying something that we are doing. Who told us that we can gamble with relationships? We can gamble? And then I hear people, me, I'm not a communicator. Me, I'm not. But you can learn communication. Communication is a skill. And I've said it here. All the skills that we use in relationship management are learned. So take advantage of opportunities, marriage conferences, talks like this. Listen, subscribe and listen. This is variable information and resources that you can use to be better. So we can all improve ourselves because we are not created to just operate on default setting and say, oh, me, I'm not this, or our culture, or no. We can learn all these things and be better, you know. But again, emphasizing the issue of therapy, there are certain things that could be making you behave a certain way. Unresolved traumas. You were exposed to certain things that you have believed those are the right patterns, but now they are becoming a problem, and no one has done good psychoanalysis for you. Please utilize professional help.
Yeah, yeah. It will help. I think sometimes you don't know why you're behaving the way you do, but if you sit down with someone and they help you kind of go back to when you were growing up, to your relationship with your parents, your interaction with your siblings, I think it shines a light and gives you better perspective on why there's certain things happening.
It's a lot. Self-discovery is so important.
And very helpful.
It's very helpful. Self-awareness, I tell people the biggest discovery anyone will ever make in this world is discovering themselves.
Absolutely.
But we love to discover stones
Other things
source of the Nile
of
and
the
all
Nile.
that.
which are
But
all important. However,
we don't want to discover ourselves. Why do you behave the way you behave? You cannot just keep feeding negative behavior patterns and you get stuck when actually you could discover why and also gain skills for change. Yeah, navigating and changing the trajectory, negative trajectory.
And self-awareness is a mark of maturity, by
It
the
is.
way. Yeah.
It is.
It's a mark of maturity.
Because it means you don't fear yourself. We fear ourselves.
we really do.
Oh, we fear ourselves
We
and
really do.
pretend to be in charge. But we
Yes.
fear ourselves. So that day you stop fearing yourself, facing yourself and say, this one I can change. Recently I was making my New Year's
Resolution.
goals, yes, resolutions, and I had to be very hard on myself. I had to say, this one I don't want. I want to do this. I want to detox here. I don't want. And I had to pick this list and go to my daughter and say, I want you to hold me accountable.
Accountable. Yeah.
You know, and for me that is important. But you can't be there. Me, that's who I am. Me, that's who. No. That's a sign of immaturity.
Immaturity. Immaturity.
So yeah, I feel like we've answered the question. I don't know if you have any last words on this particular conversation.
Yeah, so maybe my last statement, speaking of red flags, is don't make peace with dysfunction. Don't make peace with malfunctioning.
This is true.
It doesn't help. Just invest in being a better person. Marriage is what we invest in.
That's true.
There's no one who wakes up to start a bad marriage.
No.
No. We all intentionally look forward to a good marriage. But marriage is what we make it.
Yeah.
It is the investment, it's returns on investment.
Investment. Yeah.
Marriage requires watering, it requires feeding. Anything you don't feed dies. So sometimes we are really living with a dead thing when actually we could have utilized opportunities. Let's be intentional. And finally, Rachel, is to remind people that marriage is not some casual relationship. It's a very life-giving relationship. I've told people that a bad marriage can kill you faster than malaria.
That's true. That's very true.
So any person who gets a disease and doesn't treat it, it's going to kill us. So I would really want to ask that we invest in making good marriages. I'm aware And I hope you are aware that in this country, Uganda especially, we don't have great marriages. We don't have, our divorce rate is high, but the biggest problem is actually that people are living in bad marriages, what they call bad marriages.
Which is
Bad
quite sad.
marriages, sad, all the things we have talked about. People are quiet, they don't talk to each other, they hate each other, but they are there for children and all that. We don't want to have that because this is a recipe for depression. But we can make happy marriages by just tweaking the way we behave, just addressing a few things, becoming a little vulnerable, trusting each other because we are here for a season. And if you're going to have a marriage that is hell on earth, there's another hell that we are trying to avoid.
trying to
or
avoid.
We don't
you
want
bring
to
it
do that.
closer, yes.
But our effort is going to determine the quality of marriages we have, and we can really reverse those red flags if we are intentional, ready to learn, ready to grow, ready to be better, ready to be good human beings. So my challenge actually is, what kind of human being are you in marriage?
Yeah, yeah. Because you might be the cause of those red flags.
What kind of human are you?
Yeah.
What kind of human am I in this marriage? Because the degree to which we are human will determine the quality of our relationships, of our marriage.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I will not add anything, only that as I sit here, I'm always evaluating my own marriage, listening to Dr. Eva speak. And so I hope that you're doing the same as you watch, evaluating your marriage, figuring out where the red flags are and what you can do to eliminate the red flags. Because like she said, red flags can be fed. And when they are fed, they then result into, the divorce that we see, the separation that we see, the extramarital affairs, and all these other things that end up muddying the waters of our marriages. So that's it from us. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked this episode. Of course, leave us a comment. If there's a red flag you feel like we've missed out, please share it in the comment section. Would love to hear from you. Don't forget, this is Suma Coffee and Wellness Center. Come through, get your counseling services, get your body checked out, get your supplements, your healthy smoothies and your juices, and let's live an intentional, healthy life all round. Until next time, it's goodbye from us.